Yo, what's happening, guys? Got a quiet morning here, so I figured I'd do an update video for you. This is the 2022 Kawasaki Z125 Pro. I've had it for about a month now, put on close to 2,000 miles. I think I'm 50 miles shy of that. And so yeah, I'm getting a better feel as to what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and figured I'd cover some of the mods I have done to it as well. Just to note, there's nothing, I don't have any performance mods done to it. Everything here is just aesthetic. So I guess I'll just cover those first. Looking at the thumbnail, you guys may be interested in those. So yeah. These things are mole pouches that I bought off Amazon. They're spelled M-O-L-L-E pouches. This pouch in particular is called like the messenger pouch. So it's a little bit difficult to find. I bought some of these, I want to say a year ago for my kayak. And then I had to spend probably a good 3 or 4 days trying to find them for my motorcycle. So yeah, that's probably your best bet, is putting mole messenger pouch, tactical pouch or something into Amazon. It should pop up. I want to say they're about $13 a piece. I had originally bought, first I did some research trying to find like pannier, bags for this bike, and I wasn't able to find anything. So when I couldn't find anything there, I moved over to like the bicycle pannier racks, and I actually bought 2 of those pannier bags, and then also a rack. 1 bag, 1 rack. And the rack did not fit onto this aftermarket rack I got from Thailand, and the pannier bags that go over the seat were too narrow for the back of this portion here. So it was kind of like wonky. It didn't look right. It didn't sit right. So yeah, after those didn't work, I moved over to these mole pouches, because anyone who's on a motorcycle often, your fucking pockets are always filling up real quick. So just somewhere to offload your pockets, when you're doing errands and so on, or hold a drink or whatever, if you're a minimalist. So that's kind of where I started, was with these. Everything else was not there. As I started to realize I filled those up pretty quick, I moved over to buying a rear rack. This was off I bought this off eBay, although you can buy it from Amazon as well. I got it from eBay because I think it was $89 as opposed to $120. You just had to wait for about an extra 2 weeks. So I had no problem waiting, went ahead and bought it. It did come in a little scuffed up, but that was no problem to me because I was gonna kind of cover it with this crate anyway. But yeah, this thing's been working great. Like I said, it's from Thailand. It just bolts in to where your license plate goes, those 4 bolts there. And I've put maybe a good 20 pounds on it, to be honest. I went grocery shopping, and I've taken this bike camping, so it can hold a good bit of weight. Although I think on the item description, it said something like 10 or 15 pounds. But anyway, who's counting, right? So yeah, haven't had any problems with that. I went ahead and put on this crate here. Do a lot of fishing. So I put 2 fishing rod holders. This is just a lock to this was a test to see if I could lock my fishing rods in, and it seemed to work. So I'm actually going to buy another lock for this side, so I can carry them around full time. A lot of times I'm cruising around, I see a pond, I'm like, oh shit, I've never seen that. I wonder if there's fish in there. So now, having my rods back there, I'll be able to stop at any time. these little cases here I bought on sale from Harbor Freight. I want to say they were $9.99 retail. I got them for $7.99 a piece. So they're basically just little knockoff Pelican cases, you know, which have been working great. I got my insurance and insurance card and stuff like that. And then I have some other stuff I'm not going to name in there for my pit stops. If anyone's from California, you know what I'm talking about. And I do have it under lock and key. So here on this side, I have tourniquets just in case something goes down. You got to pull over and save somebody's life or whatever. Got another one on this side, just in case. You never know. So moving down to here, another mole pouch on this side. And then obviously my little flag up here. It's fucking falling apart, just like California is. So I guess another big one that people may be interested in is going to be the seat here, seat cushion. Anyone who spent more than 40 minutes on their bike has realized quickly that the seat's not the best. At first I thought it was okay, but yeah, these longer rides are hell on the stock seat. So I looked around, I saw some from Thailand and I saw some, from here in the States. Reading the reviews, they're kind of all over the place. It's like, some people like them, some people say it's a complete waste of money and they couldn't return it. So this was a cheap fix that I found on Amazon. It's basically just like a honeycomb rubber. Anyone that's familiar with like the purple mattresses, it's basically the same thing. So it helps. But honestly, I spent like 6 hours on my bike the other day, just cruising from spot to spot. And, it prolongs the time it takes to get uncomfortable. So I'd say, the stock seat, 40 minutes, you start to shuffle around. With this topper, I'd say maybe the 3-hour mark. I was thinking, okay, like this, I don't know, is this the solution or not? So, and oftentimes, I mean, who the hell's spending 3 hours on their bike unless you're commuting super far anyway? So, I don't know. That's why I'm kind of holding off. I think Corbin makes a seat for this, but obviously, this being like a $4,000 bike as it is, who the hell wants to spend $500 on a seat? Or I don't know how much it is for this bike, but you get the point. So yeah, I'm going kind of low cost, mods and budget mods and stuff like that. These people that are spending $500 on an exhaust system that's not going to do anything to your speed, your top speed or anything, like what the hell are you doing, right? So yeah, these are low cost mods just to kind of, like I said, aesthetic, make it look better. Moving up here to the front, I've got these LED pods. These are 18 watt LED pods, so they don't drain your battery. I think they look great, to be honest. I'm a tobacco chewer, so I wired my little wiring harness into my Grizzly Pouches can, which I thought was kind of neat. So got that up there, the switch. And I've got them running blue right now, but you can switch them all over the place, and even multicolored. They'll like do the relay where it's changing colors around, all that jazz. I'm not into that. I just wanted, when I'm off-road, I do a lot of camping, so I want to be able to take this bike kind of out cruising around the camp grounds where there's no lights whatsoever. So I did do that 2 weeks ago, and these pods work absolutely fantastic for that. I could see the entire trail, so got those guys on there. That's just kind of, for styling or whatever. Up here, got a cup holder for my coffees in the morning. We got 2 sets of mirrors on this. I was gonna delete the mirrors up top and just run the side mirrors, but I actually had nowhere to mount these LED pods. I originally mounted them below on the forks, but I realized, you know, any bump I'd go over, these things would compress, and the LED pods were sitting right here and would smash this thing. So I got little nicks here, which I only did one little 5-minute ride, and I was like, fuck, I gotta take them off. So I took them off, and I just bought these little perch mounts made for bicycles, and basically just screwed them into the mirror. So now we got dual mirrors with the pods up top, which I don't know. I think it looks pretty clean. And it actually helps having the 2 sets of mirrors. I can have one for lane changing, and in my my bar end mirrors, I can see completely behind me, which I like. So yeah, I don't know. This is already 11-minute video. I wasn't gonna try to go this long, but yeah, anyone who's curious on, you know, getting this bike, oh well, fuck, I haven't even gone over the cons or anything. Go over them quick. So doing low speed turns on this bike, you do have the potential of your knee getting trapped between the bar and the bike, which if you're doing a U-turn and you so happen to have to like put your foot down, right, to balance yourself before you take off, sometimes your knee gets trapped, and by your knee being trapped, your foot cannot be lifted off the peg to put your foot down. So that did happen to me once. I didn't panic, thankfully. I just gave it some gas, you know, and stood the bike up straight again, and then put my foot down and completed my turn. But anybody who's like a new rider, just keep that in mind, because you may panic and put your bike down going 0 miles an hour. Another thing that I don't like about this bike is there's no oil temperature sensor or engine temperature, or not sensor, but I guess a gauge, a reading, right? I was in the canyons the other day. It was about 90 degrees, and I was out there for a few hours anyway, and my bike started kind of, you know, when the engine starts like making that cracking sound because it's too hot. Well, I started hearing that, and I'm sure it wasn't a problem if I continue riding, but me being paranoid, I pulled over and posted up for about 45 minutes before taking off home. And I sat there just wondering, or just wishing, you know, that this bike had some sort of temperature gauge, so you can just know for sure. Now, I know the bike does have the ability to read the temperature of the bike, because the engine light will turn on if it's overheating. So it's just kind of unfortunate they didn't, you know, use some of that real estate on the dash to display the numbers. What else? Oh, another thing that I kind of dislike about this is it's not so much the bike as it is just kind of, I don't know what you would call this, but any squids out there wearing just hoodies, you know, riding bikes. I'm a certified squid, so I'm just usually wearing a hoodie. The fucking hoodie will fill up with air and, you know, almost act as like a parachute on a drag car, you know, and start pulling you back, and it's noticeable. Now that happens on you know, almost every bike, but there's my other bikes. I got a 600 and 1000. You do not feel you slowing down because you're hoodie. You'll feel it, you know, fill up with air, and it's kind of uncomfortable. But this bike, it's like it will literally slow you down. So a lot of the times when I go riding, I'll just flip my hood inside out. So there's no pocket for it to fill up with air, if that makes sense. So that's a little tip. But yeah, what else? I guess the other things that I not so much like about it, but I do find it interesting is me having my other bikes. I got two sport bikes, you know, a CBR 600 RR and a CBR 1000 RR. And those being sport bikes, it's funny because, you know, when you're riding those, you only get waves from sport bikes. The occasional, you know, dirt bike, you know, dual sport guy. But me being on this thing, I was in the canyon yesterday and I was getting waves from everyone. Sport bikes, mini bikes, Harleys, dual sport riders. And I was thinking, that's fucking weird, you know? So I think that's interesting, you know, just the overall interest in this bike. Like everyone seems to like it. So for anybody out there, especially first-time riders, you know, I remember when I got my first bike, I was thinking, oh, I got to get, you know, a 600 cc minimum. But I don't want to look like a fool out there. So, you know, anyone that thinks they're going to look like a fool on this bike is sadly mistaken. You know, like I said, I'm getting waves from everyone. So that, I think that kind of speaks for itself. So yeah, any first-time riders, do not just jump into the deep end. I would get a smaller bike. Honestly, I don't know if this is the answer though, because one thing as a first-time rider, you don't want speed, but you need enough speed, right, to get out of the dangerous situations that you're probably going to find yourself in several times before you understand what's going on out in the road. So this is one drawback for the first time riders, that I'd say the pickup speed on this bike is crap. So if you turn out, you know, without looking, or, you know, and you find a car coming up on your ass real quick, I mean, you kind of got to live with your decision at that point, you know, on this bike. On a slightly bigger bike, you might be able to gun it, you know, and get yourself out of that situation. So something to consider. But yeah, I don't want to keep rambling, because I really don't have like a list of things that, you know, I'm gonna go over and cover. So I'm probably just gonna keep repeating myself. But yeah, guys, so that's the mods that I've done, my aesthetic mods. Oh shit, I got my Pro Taper handlebars up there as well. Those are the KLX 110 bars. The SE 7/8, that's how thick they are. But anyway, so yeah, guys, I don't want to ramble on. If you guys have any questions or concerns, or interested on, you know, how to find some of this crap, just drop a comment and I'll be happy to help you guys. Or if you guys want to see any tests done, that's another thing, I guess. I don't know if I mentioned that. The top speed test that I did, the rev limiter kicks in at 67 miles per hour. And then as far as the gas economy goes, I did a test where I ran the bike completely dry, and I got 128 miles for the entire tank. This is a 2-gallon tank, so that's 64 miles per gallon. And anyone who's interested, you know, how much gas or how much range you can get from the time the reserve tank cuts on until it's empty is 30, I want to say it was 33 miles or 37 miles or something like that. Click on my channel if you're interested in that. I do have a video that I went in depth, and I at the time that I ran it dry, I took record of it. So at any rate, hope this helps, guys. And yeah, smash that like button. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns. Thanks.